Alright, up on the workbench today is a doomed temple. This one has seen some better days though. We've got an entirely missing track that's fallen inside of the piece. You can see it way down in there. And if we look real closely, there's even a wedged in silica packet buried in there that got wedged into the works. There's some other bits in there as well that look broken. So not much we can do with this one except crack it open and see if we can get it working again. Alright, we're going to pull this open and see what we find in here. Alright, so we've got a circuit board. There's a bit of track we can get out of here. That's kind of wedged into something. Oh, there we go. So there's a piece of broken track. Well, maybe it's not broken. Maybe it's supposed to be like that. Looks like it just came unpinned though. Alright, we'll figure out where that goes. Let's see, there's a silica packet. Hey, get that out of here. And oh, there's a little archaeologist guy. Let me grab him. Come on out. Hey, there we go. There's the archaeologist. Alright, get you back on. And I don't see anything else in there yet. So now we're going to have to take out this piece and the motor. We'll see how we get that out in order to dig further. Now, I haven't gotten this piece out yet, but I do want to go around and get all of the crusty glue off of this edge here where the base was glued in. And we just want to be careful with this part down here. Some of those wires go into the glue, and up here as well, you can see some of these wires. They would have been glued in, but they go to LEDs on the front of the piece, this one here as well. So as you get the glue out, you just want to be careful you're not snagging these little wires. And I just go through with an awl, which is a little pointy awl here, and just kind of dig into the corner, and you can kind of pry out the glue. It's hard to do one-handed, but you just kind of get in here and kind of pick at it. Pick at it like that, and a big chunk will come out. And you can just take all this out and get rid of that junk. We're working on getting this little piece out of here. So it's kind of snag on the wires. So this has come out. Oh, we got another guy in here. There's another cart guy. Okay, so now I've got him and my archaeologist. They must go on the top level. And then they got these two guys down here on the bottom level. So this piece is looking okay. There's some gunk underneath there, kind of inside of, let's see, let's get this out. Down right in there. There's some like crud in there. We might be able to dig out. But that is not what we're after right now. What we're after is this top piece. And that. So this is where there are two missing guys go. Archaeologist. He didn't have the wheels, so I'm guessing he goes here on this one. And then the other guy does have his wheels, so I'm guessing he goes on this one. And it probably spins around as well. Well, maybe this is just loose. Anyway, so we'll put him back on there. Check out the gears. Gears look really worn, but they might be in okay shape. Now that I have it out, we can actually turn it on and let's see if it's actually working without snagging on anything. So I should see both of these start spinning. All right, let me get it plugged in. We'll see what happens. All right, I just plugged it in and I got nothing when I turn on the power. And if we look closely, here is the back side of the power plug. If you look closely, you'll see that there's only one wire in it. And looking around, we've got this wire here that's just floating. That one right there. And I'm guessing this is the one that went to the power. I don't know if I pulled that out opening the piece or if it was broken off. You can see it's got this really tiny little bit of solder joint right in there. So I'm going to go ahead and just tack that back in to see if I can get myself some power. Alright, got my soldering iron hot. I think there's going to be enough solder on there. I could just tack it back together real quick. That's going to hold. No, not going to hold that. Alright, should be in now. Alright, I think we're back in business. Let's try and turn it on now. And nothing. Well, the reason I got nothing is because I didn't have it plugged in. So let's plug it in. And there we go. Alright, we are in business. Got our guys swinging around. And we got sound. Alright, making progress. Got some lights. Let's turn these off. Alright, things are looking up. So I'm watching these guys go around and trying to figure out how they actually get mounted inside of the piece. And at first it looks like we've got a couple of mounting holes here and there, but obviously those aren't going to work for mounting because it goes right over the top. So I think the only way it was in there was by being glued along the edge of this outer track inside the mountain, and it would have been right up in kind of this area, right around that edge there. And then the same thing with the lower level, would have been glued in right along this edge, right down there. Because there's no other way to mount it except to glue it on the edge. So that's kind of interesting. Also, the other thing I noticed is this guy. Is that guy eating an ice cream cone? What is that? Looks like he's eating an ice cream cone. Oh, it's an idol. I see. It's like the idol that he's stolen, which is why the mummies are chasing him out of the temple. Alright, not an ice cream cone. Mystery solved. He's stolen an idol. This other guy, I think he stole the other mummy's hand, because you can see he is missing an arm. That's why this one's pissed off. Alright, let's get these guys back on their track. We're first going to take this one, which is a little fun time spin around car. And I'm just going to tighten this down. Conveniently, these cars are curved, actually, so they're forever going to go in a circle. Let's go ahead and tighten that screw down. There, now he's not going to turn. Alright, and then we'll put our little guy back in. Does he go this way? No, he probably goes this way. Well, I don't know which way he goes. Maybe this way? That would make sense, because he'd be looking, but then he's looking away. You can't see his face. Which way does he go? If I put him this way, then he's riding in the car backwards. I think. Which way are these spinning? Yeah, so it goes that way. If he was here this way, you could see his face. But he'd be riding backwards. That doesn't seem right. Put him this way. See, that's how he fits. He fits there. So that's the way he was. You can't see his face. Well, oh well, I'll just put him in the way he was. Alright, we're going to put in a little CA glue here. A little dab. We'll stick him on. And then I'm going to grab the accelerator after I knock him off. Grab the accelerator. And we'll just give this a little squirt. That'll set the glue real fast. Alright, he's not going anywhere now. Alright, let's take a look at this guy now. Guy without an arm. This is going to be harder to get in. I'm wondering if I should take off the car, maybe? Break it off and then re-glue it. Screw this in. But it's already broken. So I think I'm just going to try and tack it on with the CA glue and see how that works. A little dab. Oop. See if we can hold him on there. And then grab the accelerator once again, and we'll just give it a little, hold it nice and straight. Do a little spritz. Hold it for another 10 seconds or so. Alright, he is on there. I'll let him dry for a little bit longer. But that should be good for these guys. And so now they are in their loop again. Get it in there. I guess he's looking over his shoulder. You can see his face when he comes out, I guess, a little bit. But mostly he's looking away from us, but oh well. He's the one on the run from the mummy, so not me. He can look whatever way he wants. Give me my idol. Give me my arm. Alright, so we're going to start putting on this piece of track. I've got this thing that we pulled out of the inside. Now it's kind of a weird circle. It's not even, the plastic is distorted there. It looks like it's been stretched, but looking at this other one that's in there, it's kind of stretched the same way for the bigger track. So I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to be or if that's just damaged. It's supposed to be a circle. But I think it's going to work anyway, because if we look at the bottom track, that ring is glued kind of there. And so I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm just going to glue this ring kind of right in where that ladder is at the bottom there, as that post is kind of floating. But I'll glue it right there at the bottom of the ladder. So let's see if I can get that framed up. Something like that. That's looking from the inside. Alright, so that's gonna go. Come in from the outside maybe. Oh yeah, that's gonna work. Let's drop it in right there. Just like that. Alright, so that's gonna work. If I can get it back out again. Alright, we're back out. Alright, so we're gonna take our piece there. There is a bunch of crappy hot glue on this. Let's get rid of that first. So let's go ahead and just kind of pick all this glue out. You can see how easy this stuff comes out. It just kind of flicks right out. So just take your little pick and kind of pry at it a bit. We'll get all of that out of there. Just don't stab yourself on the hand. Alright, clean that all up. Nice and pretty. Alright, so now we're going to take our glue. And we'll just kind of glue in here. Just run that around. We'll go from the outside in. Get it around that ladder that was up there. Get it stuck in place here. Something like so. That's approximately where it goes. That might need a little bit more glue here in a bit. Let me see from this side. Yeah, I might need to get in there with a little hot glue and kind of fill in that gap, but we'll wait till this settles. I'm gonna let this dry real good. I'll just hold it right there. Make sure it's level. Alright, that looks pretty good. So we're gonna take a look up here. Okay, that's looking good. Nice. Looks level. Let me see. Yeah, that looks level with the rest of it. Okay, so I'm gonna let that set. I might come back in and fill that gap around the edge with a little bit of hot glue or something just on the inside, just to fill that in and hold it a little bit better. So we'll do that in a few minutes. This one, I think this other one's pretty set. Yeah, this one's in there pretty good. Yeah, I might tack that other end in. Looks a little loose. I might tack that in too. Alright, so the hot glue is in, and these pieces are much more secure now. You can see if I push it, it's not going anywhere. This one up here is a lot more secure as well. So the inner tracks are in. So now we just need to glue in these other guys here and get them back onto their tracks. Now, I'm looking at this, trying to figure out how these are going to go in there. And I think it's going to be best if I just stop them when they're opposite of this gap in the track. And then I can maybe, something like that. And then we can maybe fish them in, kind of get them up into position up there. So let's see how that is going to work. Because I think if I kind of spin them while I'm putting them in, because ultimately it needs to go in this way. This is the front of the piece up here at the very top. So ultimately they need to go in somewhere like this with that gap in the track towards the back. But I think I have to put it in this way and then spin it as I get it in. So let's see. So if I go fish them in there without snagging any wires. There, and then kind of spin it. Let's see. Ah, I see. Yes. Okay, so you spin it backwards, then go up higher. And then I can spin it forward again. There we go. Yeah, alright. That's looking good. I've got a wire that popped up. Okay. Something like that is where it's gonna go. So let me see if I can tip this back up now. Keep this other one out of the way. Alright, so there is this guy. So we can maybe move him just a little bit. Gonna set him up on that ledge there so this track is right there on that lip. Somewhere like that. And I think if I glue it right there, they will be good. So let me get both hands again, and I'll glue it down, and we'll go from there. Alright, I figured out that I can reach in from underneath here. I can get that motor, and I can pick it up by the motor here. So I'm actually going to spin it this way a little bit more. Maybe the other way? What I don't want is that motor to be locking this exit door on the bottom. So let me spin it back. Oh, you know what? That's where it goes, right there. You can feel it lock right in. You can feel the old glue just kind of fits right there. So that's exactly where I want it. Okay, so let me scoot it out of the way a bit. Get our glue in there. Go all the way around to back there. And then we'll just bring it back forward. And drop it down until it locks into place. Just hold it for a second. Alright, that's feeling good. You can see all the glue that oozed out of there? That just means that it's a really tight fit. So it's exactly where it was, and it's not moving back or forward. So I'm just going to get in here and give it a little spritz with the accelerator. Really get that glue solid. Hold it for another 10-15 seconds or so. Alright, I think we're probably good on that. I'm going to turn it back on again. I'm just going to double check this guy over here, make sure he's out of the way. Don't want them running into anything. Okay. Alright, top track in place. Handless mummy going around. Picked up an extra spider web from the hot glue on the way out. I'll go ahead and fix that. But we're looking better. Almost done. Just have to get this one now into place. Alright, this one we're going to do basically the same thing. I stopped it so that these guys are opposite the gap in the track here. And I think I'm just going to put it in and spin it around so that... Oh, what is that? Oh, I lost a sticker from the motor. Okay, don't need that, I guess. So anyway, I'm going to spin it around until this portion of the track is at the front of the building here. So we're going to put it this way and spin it. Well, that's the plan anyway. Try not to snag any wires on the way in. And try not to knock off anybody from their tracks. So if we can get them in there. And then spin it if we can. There we go. Progress a little bit. Getting cut up on something. There we go. There we go. Moving around. Moving around. What are we doing? Oh, Mummy's cut on a wire. It's very exciting from the other side, I assure you. But I think it's about right. You can see here, there's like a little lip in the glue. Right there, there's a lip in the glue, and you can see where that's supposed to kind of line up. And it just doesn't want to get there, but towards me a little bit more. So, it's hitting something on the inside. But that's pretty close, though. I think what it is, I think it's this extra glue right on this edge in there. I think that's what it's hitting. Ah, it got me. Okay. Let's see if we can get that in there a little bit more. It's pretty close. It's hitting with a little bit of extra resin. Oh yeah, that big chunk right there. Let's get that out of there. That big chunk of epoxy. I'm starting to think this piece was repaired by somebody else already, because I don't know if this epoxy was original. Alright. Well, I think that's as close as we're going to get it. Which is pretty close. I think I'm happy with that. It's in position. Now, assuming it still works. Yeah, look at that. There they go. Round and round. Alright, so I'm happy with that positioning. Let's go ahead and wait for them to come back out again. And we'll go ahead and get this tacked into position. Get it glued in. Can I lift it up? Yeah, I'll just lift it up a little. Get our glue in here. Bring you guys back. Get you all set in there. Nice and tight. Hold it down. Give it a spritz. Give it a spritz. Spritz over there. Oh. Let it dry for a moment. Don't stick your fingers to it. I think we're in business. Let me clear this area, set it back down. Give it another. There we go. Doom Temple. Back in business. Uh-oh, what was that? We're snagging on something as we go around, so I'll have to do some quick investigation on that. Found the problem. This mummy decided to grab a wire on his way back out, so we need to get him to let go of that before we put it back together. Alright, we're back in business again, but there is a couple of wires inside. The wires for the upper motor, the motor that was attached to this track. And these guys, with his stick or spear and this guy's neck, keeps getting caught on the wires as they come out inside of that hole. So I maybe should have tacked the wires up and out of the way before I put the lower track back in, but we'll just have to watch for that when we put the base in. Alright, so I just got the bottom re-hot glued in. I made sure to get any wires out of the way underneath before I did so. So next up is to redo the base. Now when I cut off the base, there's a few areas that I had to go back over with a hobby knife and just kind of scrape off the last little bits of the original foam base. And then I just take a piece of this craft felt. It's adhesive on the back, and I just set it on there, trace around it with a pencil, cut it out until I get a piece that looks like this, and it is exactly going to fit right there on the bottom. So go ahead and we'll just peel that off and stick that on now. This is always a little bit tricky, getting the felt off the backing paper. There we go. Alright, let's peel this off. And you definitely want to make sure your pieces are working before you put this felt on. Otherwise you gotta tear all the felt off and restart over. So go ahead and just stick that on in position. And I always like to leave just a little bit of an edge around, just so you're not seeing that felt when you're displaying your pieces. Alright, now we got a nice new bottom. Done. Doomed temple back in order. So there is my finished Doom Temple, all put back together again, working great. Didn't really have to do any soldering. The only wire that was loose was one that I think I broke myself when I opened the piece. So everything else was just a matter of gluing it in place and cleaning it up, and working great, ready for the shelves and for Halloween. We'll see you on the next one.